Gary Dowling, Neville Glover, Mick Cronin, Mark Levy, Graham Atkins, Peter Sterling, number 6, Graham Murray, Ray Price, Peter Wynn playing in number 18, Jeff Gerard, Ron Hilditch, Kevin Webb and Robert Jay. And the coach, of course, Terry Fernley. On the Canterbury side, Stan Cutler, Chris Anderson, Chris Mortimer, Peter Mortimer, Steve Gearin, Gary Hughes, Steve Mortimer, Stephen Folkes, Peter Casillas, Graham Hughes, Peter Smith, George Paponis, Greg Cook and the coach Ted Glossop. Okay. And the kick-off, Mick Cronin gets them away. Parramatta playing with a very strong breeze, blowing from the northeast quarter. Casillas has got the first one from the kick-off. And a typical Casillas catch and gain, around about 5 metres. Peter Smith, oh, heavens, the body contact there. The young fella's going to get to his feet. Well, bless my soul, that was a Robert J. special, I think. Just ran straight into him. Nothing illegal about it, but if they're going to play it like this, there'll be nobody left. Canterbury up to halfway now. Well, to his credit, Peter Smith got to his feet and he's back in the play. He must be a tough young rooster. That was a crash. Graham Hughes. And the last tackle, they haven't made any impression, but they've still got the ball. Canterbury. And Chris Mortimer goes down with it. Well, the opening stanza, Canterbury still moving the ball, playing the sort of football that they've shown us. We've got a touch judge in.
Incident with Peter Wynn and Steve Mortimer.
Peter Wynn playing in number 18. Being spoken to. Ray Price listening attentively. There's only the odd point in each match, these two sides this year. 13-12, Canterbury won the second. 25-24, Parramatta won the first. And in each match, Canterbury have won the scrums. The trainer starts the ball rolling with that one. Sterling up very quickly on Gary Hughes. Could have been a penalty there for not allowing the tackle player to play the ball. Folkes. Notably Barry Ross, who's on the sideline. Notably the Canterbury side in the previous encounters have received a massive penalty count their way. Something like 22-12.
Yes, that's right. And of course the early scrums have gone against them in their last two semi-final appearances.
So with Graham Hughes tackled 2 metres short of the halfway, Canterbury playing into this strong breeze. Have had the ball for the opening 3 minutes. And Hughes gets another fair sort of a knock from Gerard again, legitimately. Cook, was it? Yeah, Greg Cook. And great tackling. Price round the boots and Win over the top. And Peter Smith was put out hard. Now, second scrum feed to Canterbury, Steve Mortimer. Again, the referee says. There's a penalty, and it's to Canterbury Bankstown. A little bit of stupidity going on that collapsed scrum. Ron Hilditch being spoken to. But there was Webb down on the ground, last man up, which is a fair indication of what the penalty was about. Loose arm and down on the ground. The multi-talented Mortimers. That was Chris Mortimer now, kicking for touch that Brentnall's out of the side with a broken arm. Steve Mortimer. And great enthusiastic running from Peter Smith, who came from 20 metres back to get involved in that ruck. Now they work play down to the quarter. Parramatta's end. Graham Hughes, there's a move on here, usually to do with the fullback, but now Parramatta have got the ball. First mishandle. Parramatta come up with it. Now we'll see, I think, a more methodical style of football from Parramatta. You'll see a fair bit of running from dummy half. And big men like Gerard coming off Murray. Either side of the ruck, they dispense the ball. And they're going to use the breeze, and that's clever tactics. seem a trite remark to say that, but we've seen some top sides not use the breeze, and obviously Parramatta are not going to be one of them. Cutler. Just outside his quarter. So easy. 40 metres back upfield, and Canterbury have got to get themselves out of trouble again. Hughes. Chris Mortimer. I reckon the young Mortimer that's in the Australian Schoolboys Rugby Union side is the best of the lot of them, according to his dad, Barry Ross.
Yeah, that's rugby league side to go to France, Rex. Apparently so. He's got everything, that a little bit from each of the brothers.
Well, he's got a bit of the pace of Steve and a bit of the toughness of the other one, Peter, and he's going to be a beauty. The terrible thing is he's a back. Can you visualise a Canterbury back line with all Mortimers?
Yes, and the 3 U's perhaps.
Oh, commentator's nightmare. It's Canterbury. Graham Hughes. Oh, a shocking pass. That was a horror. That is out of character football from Graham Hughes. He's normally steadier than that. He didn't take the ball well in the first place and tried to do something with the ball anyway. Now, when you get into a situation where you've had to juggle the ball, the best thing usually is to take the tackle. Touch judge again. Gary Hughes, and I think we'll see a penalty perhaps. Did you see that incident, Barry?
No, I missed that one.
Let's watch Hartley's hands. He might make some sign. It's going to be a scrum. Another Canterbury scrum win if they stop moving backwards. Oh, that's a bit late. That's a penalty. And rightly, Glover coming in on the tackle player. Adds marched him another 10. And Glover, that was very stupid. I realise his enthusiasm to nail Steve Mortimer to the ground when he's on the ground, but he was down and there was no way he wasn't tackled. And that's a bad kick and gives Gary Dowling the opportunity to get the ball, but he's had to go back to his in goal. Now he starts forward progress. Top tackle there, George Paponis, the man. Now Glover taking it up like a forward. Now we've got a bit of tit for tat going on there. I think Greg Cook is going to be penalised for a swinging right arm. And Hartley even nominated the arm and grabbed him by the right arm and said, that's the one that did it. Testing period. Still no score in the game. We've had 7 minutes and 3 penalties. Canterbury, 1 Parramatta, 2 scrum wins to Canterbury. Very strong breeze, favouring this Parramatta side in the opening half. We're doing our usual awards today. The player we judged to be the best player. Oh, and body contact, if you like, as Jay came up with a heavy knock there and a shoulder charge. Let's see that again. They're really throwing themselves at each other. Just watch this again, the switch of play. Now Jay there, and there it was. This one, so. It's the old gridiron hit. Well, Parramatta have come up with their first scrum win. 2-1 the scrums. Canterbury's favour. Now, will they persist with this, or will they take the odds to the kick to get the ball down to Canterbury's area? Let's see. Tactics very important. The switch of play across the ruck. It's gone to ground. But he's done what he could. Dropped it and rectified it, and that's all a player can do. I dare say he might have been feeling a little bit shaky from that heavy shoulder charge. He took a second to go. That was Robert Jay. Murray feeds. It's out the Parramatta side. Murray makes a good inroad. He's right through the gap. Looks for a pass. He can't get it away as the enveloping defence in the shape of Cutler, who's standing up on the line, the fullback. And there's Steve Mortimer throwing a stiff arm, and that's a penalty. Silly boy. Right in front of the referee. Didn't serve any purpose. He missed. I suggest Steve Mortimer keep his play to shoveling the ball out with the occasional electrifying burst and leave the tough stuff to the fellas that can do it. That was a very out of character action. 6 or 7 point breeze. very firmly from the northeast. A real summer breeze. Cronin. Yes, sir. 2 points on the board. Parramatta have hit the lead, and they lead by 2 points to 0. He's seen in full Sunday morning on Channel 7's Rugby League replays. Well, that's a hell of a mess, and the hooker still... Who's going to get that? Canterbury? I think he's got Webb down on the broad of the back. There's the entire Parramatta front row down, so it's fairly obvious that the referee judged a collapsed scrum. 2-0. Parramatta. Cronin the goal kicker. Again, Chris Mortimer. 10 metres outside the quarter for Ponus. Steve Mortimer. Cook. Lost the ball. Parramatta have it through Gerard. They can well afford that sort of error. There's the hooker Kevin Webb running from dummy half. Murray. And Jay obligingly gives it back to the Canterbury side, to the man that lost it, Greg Cook. It's almost as if it was tit for tat. Nice pass, Cutler. Bit slowly to his feet there. They need to fight their way up. There's Smith surging on the boiler every time he gets it. He's on the move. For Ponus. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes cuts out a man, gives it nicely to Peter Mortimer. Only just caught by one leg. On the blind side they go. Gary Hughes. Chris Mortimer with a little grubber kick through. Looks a good one. It's a beauty. Only about 10 metres out. Pressure for the Parramatta side. Only 19 years of age. Barry Ross.
Chris Mortimer, yes. He's the biggest of the three of them too.
Bit of football brain. Now let's see what Webb can do in a way of winning a scrum. No, Paponis has taken it from him. The fullback's in. Cutler. And well tackled from Sterling. Nicely round the boots. Gary Hughes runs. Straightens the action. Just on the 10-metre line. Parramatta turn to defend. Folks. Steve Mortimer. Back inside to Smith. Looking to get the ball away, as you saw. Anderson runs from dummy half. He scored tries from there last week, or a try from there last week. Hartley's down again. Little kick over the top. And knocked dead by Price over the dead ball line. Well, there's no... I've never seen a referee get involved in the action quite as closely as Greg Hartley. Barry Ross, how many times do you reckon he's been over this year?
Well, I can remember at least 3 occasions, and of course that game against West earlier in the year where he got a boot in the face for being too close to the ruck.
Yeah, I've just never seen it happen to other referees.
Well, some people don't like it, some people do like it. He's just very involved in the game, and of course it helps his refereeing. Right,
well, the Cronin drop kick is a splendid one. It's 55 metres long. Cutler has it on the full, however. Midway between the Parramatta quarter and halfway. Steve Mortimer. Cook coming close to the ruck. Unloads nicely. Back to Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Casillas evades a tackle. Get a pass back inside to Mark Hughes. Then it's to Anderson. Anderson veering nicely. Loses the ball. That's out of character for Anderson too. Here come Parramatta with Hilditch unloading nicely to Sterling. Sterling evades one tackle. Lobs a pass out to Glover. That pass looked a touch forward, but the referee says try on, but he was right in line with it. Now Glover's lost it. Graham Hughes has it. Evades one tackle. Now he unloads. It's gone back to Smith. Smith will have a bit of a sprint here. Comes up and he's lost it. Now I'll get it. Bless my soul. What have they done? Have they spilled oil on the ground or something out there? All of a sudden, a rash of bad handling for no reason.
Elijah in again. Bit of an incident with Graham Hughes, Mark Levy and Neville Glover.
Well, the game being played in a very good spirit at the moment. There's just a little bit of natural vigour that you'd expect from such an important game, but Ted Glossop, I think, would be a little bit concerned about the way his boys are spilling the ball.
Yes, that's been foreign to Canterbury in this final series, hasn't it? They haven't made many mistakes.
We'll be judging the best try, presuming we're going to get one. The try that we judge to be the best will be judged along with all the other fine tries that we've had this year. Oh, and haven't we had some absolute beauties. And the man that we judge to be most responsible for that Channel 7 Big League Try of the Year will receive a beautiful Ford Escort gear from City Ford. Parramatta scrum win. Ray Price standing out. Evades one tackle, still going. Got himself nicely away and very nearly got himself into the clear. Now they'll get penalised if they don't get off him. Casillas, one of the tacklers. Sterling, Cronin. Out it goes to the centre. Levy from Dowling. Levy makes good inroads, still going. This could be something coming up for them. A nice inside flick with the pass has gone to ground. I think Canterbury have come up with it. And again, the second time Parramatta looked dangerous. The first time was when Atkins had a run and threw a bad pass. That flick pass. Oh, look at this. A long 22, 25-metre pass across the front of his goals. They don't care. This is not a final for Canterbury. They're playing it like a club game. Ted Glossop will age overnight if they keep doing that sort of thing. Greg Cook and Smith, they're actually bustling each other to get at the ball. Must have a contest. The number get paid by the time they take it up. Graham Hughes, nicely. Gearin getting the pass from Chris Mortimer, but no side room there. Well, that's not a bad kick from Graham Hughes, but it's going to go to Dowling. He drops it, picks it up. Runs right into a hornet's nest on the halfway line. We've got about 9 minutes to half-time. Parramatta are leading by 2 points to nil. Sterling to Cronin. Unloads one-handed back to Levy. Levy then to Webb. Webb away to Sterling. Sterling makes a nice little break. Got himself up. Look at Atkins. Atkins positioning himself. Lobs a pass inside. It's over the sideline and they've bombed another chance. That's three. I would say three very good scoring opportunities. Parramatta have bombed in the first half. All on the same side of the field. And the Canterbury defence on each occasion has been stretched to breaking point. Well. And Paponis gets him off the hook with another scrum win. That's the sixth time he's won a scrum. 3-2 Parramatta, 2-1 ratio. Injury to Folks. Trainers coming on. One with Secours for Folks. One with, I'd suggest, instructions for Parramatta. There's Terry Fernley sitting there outside the... I can't just pick him up on the ground. He's behind the road. They've got the walkie-talkie behind the fence, of course, and that's Lou Platt sitting beside him. No doubt Platts will make some appearance at some stage. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at that again, just while we see the incident. There's Folks. Well, Price's knees may have come into contact with... it was the initial tackle, actually, of Sterling that did the damage, I think, but Price a little bit late. You know, Folks very slowly to his feet. Good crowd. Good crowd here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Cook. 8 minutes to go. 2 minutes about. He was down then for that treatment. Canterbury in territorial difficulties now inside their quarter. The Paponis says, the hell with this, we get out of here, and kicks. Gets the ball back to the fullback. It's kicked. Dowling. Good run. Now Canterbury on defence again. The Paponis screaming at his players. Tackle, tackle, and there's a penalty. Offside against Smith. And Cronulla, I don't think, will have too much trouble with this one. Very easy. And for an offside penalty in the ruck, there's another 2 points. That's 4-0 with about 7.5 minutes to go. Parramatta lead. You go to Ted Glossop at half-time, as you do in the dressing rooms, asking him how he feels about a 4-0 deficit in relationship to this breeze, will you? That's if the score doesn't change, of course. Okay. Webber dummy half. Peter Wynn, number 18, who took Lou Platz's place in this Parramatta side. Murray, Gerard, Rapanis, Kangaroo teammate. Won't make any difference in that tackle. Sterling's kick is not going to find touch. Bounces conveniently on its end. Cutler feels it on the second bounce. And tackled 10 metres outside his quarter. Graham Murray. Anderson. Well, he ricocheted off one player. That was Gerard, and swivelled and made another gain of about 5 metres. 4-0 the score. Parramatta leads. Steve Mortimer. Switch the play back inside. There's Smith again. That is first-class running for a prop forward. He's always looking at the end to unload if he can. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes cuts out a man. Held up the pass well. That's Chris Mortimer, number 3. 5 minutes to half-time. Steve Mortimer's pass was well taken by Casillas, and it needed to be well taken too. It was getting down around the knees. But that's the 6. And Steve Mortimer had on his mind what I was talking about, because he went over and congratulated Casillas on catching that one. Breeze. Well and surely at Parramatta's back, but Canterbury have come up with another scrum win. Gary Hughes has made a break. Got through Sterling's tackle, lobs a pass back inside. Play on. Murray can't get to Chris Mortimer, and Mortimer's underneath the posts. All came from a Gary Hughes break. And Peter Sterling was found wanting in defence on that occasion. See it again. There's the little break by Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes evades the tackle of Sterling. Then the cleverness of the pass, and Hartley was right in line with that. Waved it on, 6 to go because it was touched in flight. Murray couldn't foot it with pace. And there's the boy, 19 years of age, scoring a try in a final, Chris Mortimer. Here it is, clever footwork by Hughes, who really didn't have to do a lot except just step over the tackle. Now, it was touched in flight, according to the referee. That's what he judged, waving 6 to go. Murray tried valiantly, but young Chris Mortimer said, well, we're too close to the line. I'm not going to catch me here. And down she goes. 3 points, and that's the place to score them, right in front. Gearan, who's been a model of consistency this year for the Canterbury side. Second leading point scorer in the rugby league, I believe.
That's correct. He got 130 odd last year too.
Almost in front. Yeah, piece of cake for these good goal kickers, those ones, but there it is. Half time. I don't think Terry Fernley's going to be, well, what I'd say, very happy about that scoreline. Canterbury 5, Parramatta 4. Canterbury with a breeze at their back in the second half, and scrum possession will be able to kick tactically and theoretically anyway keep Parramatta down the southern end of the field. try coming at just a good time. Just a quick announcement for all former Kangaroos. The Kangaroos reunion on the 23rd of September, as that ball goes dead. The day after the grand final will be held at the headquarters of the New South Wales Rugby League in Phillip Street. Starting time is 10 a.m. For those of you that haven't had your notices, get in touch with the New South Wales Rugby League. Or I think Noel Pitting or Pete Holman, the two men specifically in charge of all organisation. Kangaroo reunion, 23rd of September, headquarters, New South Wales Rugby League, Phillip Street. Fast knock down, Sterling gets to it, but it's a knock on. So Gary Hughes, the man whose reselection was criticised in some quarters, has made the break that led to the try. And Peter Sterling, the man who has a penalty to Parramatta. Loose arm against Paponis and feet across. So he got the Cronulla. So Peter Sterling, as I was saying, the man who filled the vexed pivot role for Parramatta, has missed the tackle that led to the try. McCronin having his third attempted goal. A couple of minutes to half-time. According to our clock, it's up, but the official clock shows a minute and a half. The reserve grade score, 12-10, Canterbury 1. Dramatic try in the last 4 minutes, winning the game for them. Cronin, he's hooked that. Oh, they've got in each other's way. That was silly. And they've deserved to be caned for that. That two players there didn't call. One of them should have said mine. The other player should have let him catch it. Instead, they got in each other's way. There's the hooter and they're off the hook. Those little things mean a lot. Parramatta 10, Canterbury 10, errors. That's the number of times each side has given the ball back to the opposition. The scorers have been Chris Mortimer a try for Canterbury and Steve Gearin a goal. 1 from 1. For the Parramatta side, their 4 points have come from 2 penalty goals from 3 attempts to Mick Cronin. The scrums have gone convincingly to Canterbury by 7-3, better than 2-1. The penalties are 5-all. The score at half-time. Canterbury 5, Parramatta 4. We'll be back with the action of the second half of this final from the cricket ground in just a moment. Channels for this match. Loser bows out for 79. Will have been a very successful year for either club. But of course, the big pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And there's Terry Fernley, not real happy, I wouldn't think, with a 1-point deficit at half-time with his side running into the breeze. No change in either side, as I can see.
No, that's correct. Both sides are as they were in the first half.
Well, Barry Ross has been in both dressing rooms, has spoken to the coaches. What's the story?
Well, Terry Fernley is greatly concerned at scrums, and that was the main thing that occurred in the Parramatta dressing room, and rightly so. They just can't get the ball. Teddy Glossop impressed upon the boys that they're not tackling as they talked about during the week. They've got to move up in defence, but the rest of the game is okay. They're going to kick a lot in this half, of course, and use that breeze, and they're going to take the ball up the middle and try and bring the Parramatta defence in a little closer.
There's a spilt bit of possession which Parramatta can ill afford at this stage. It's interesting to note that the Canterbury side are wearing insignias on their jerseys, which I wanted to tell you about. They've just come up with what can only be termed a magnificent sponsorship from Electronic Sales and Rentals. It's, I think, $20,000 for the balance of this year and $100,000 a year from then on as Canterbury win a scrum and bring Cutler into the back line. $100,000 a year with an option for a further 9 years. That's $1 million. And, well, that is going to put rugby league, if it ever needed to be put on the map in the Canterbury area. Now let's look at this football. Smith. He's only about 20 metres out, and Canterbury putting on a bit of pressure now. Bad place for Parramatta to lose the ball as they did there. The switch of play. Oh, intercept. No. Yes, the ball's gone to ground. Knocked down. 6 to go, says the referee. That was so perilously close to an intercept. Graham Hughes surging right hard at the that defence. Levy's tackle held. Steve Mortimer, the dummy, back inside to Cook. Cook's about 12 metres away. Could be a penalty here if Parramatta don't watch that 5 metres. That sea of faces in the background watching the action. Hughes has got the pass away to Cutler. It's out there to Mortimer. Peter Mortimer, he's in for the try. And Cutler is slow to his feet, but his injection into the three-quarter line has led to the try scored by Mortimer in the 2nd or 3rd minute, is it? Now let's have a look at this. This is dramatic stuff for Canterbury because they're going to take a hell of a lot of pegging back from here. Watch it now. There's Cutler's injection. The pass going to Mortimer, and he's in for the try wide out. Now from head on, you'll see more dramatically the way Cutler hits the line. This is how to project the opening. There he comes in between 2 defenders, unloads nicely. And Peter Mortimer, who's wearing strapping on his knee now, Barry Ross, was he wearing it before?
I can't recall it. I'll check that, Rex. I'm sitting here with the Canterbury camp.
I think he's showing a little bit of lameness in that right leg. It didn't affect his sprint for the try there. Now there's that's Lee Platts, I believe. It is. Terry Fernley must be going to inject Platts into the go.
Yes, well, there was a slight movement before, about 5 or 10 minutes before half-time. Platts climbed over the fence, and it looked like it may occur then, but then Fernley called him back.
Well, Steve Mortimer, the only Mortimer that hasn't scored a try. He won't like his 2 young brothers doing that to him. Chris Mortimer, first one. Peter Mortimer, second. Gearin, the kick at goal from the sideline, about 3 metres in and a foot out from the quarter line. The breeze blowing down the field across him. He'd be aiming just to the left, or at the left-hand upright, I suggest. Let's see it. Oh, he may have judged this. Now you can see the breeze take that pretty strongly away. So the score remains as it was. Canterbury 8, Parramatta 4. 4 minutes of the second half gone. Now back to that sponsorship by Electronic Sales and Rentals that have come up for Canterbury Bankstown. I'm assured by Peter Moore, the Canterbury Bankstown secretary, that a great percentage of this money is going to go for new facilities for the spectators, the growing band of spectators the Bulldogs have at Belmore. Anderson feels that. And Peter Moore eulogised the involvement of Mr. Thorpe, the man who's the chairman of the board there. So great work by Canterbury, and I'm all for better facilities for spectators. Now Platts has taken his place on the field as this kick comes in now with Chris Mortimer kicking. Not a great kick.
Platts is not on yet, Rex. He's on the sideline with the linesman.
All right. That was not a great kick by Chris Mortimer. It didn't get much oomph into it at all. Now Parramatta back with an opportunity to get play up towards the Canterbury quarter. And some clever stuff fractionally before that, unloading one-handed and surrounded. Graham Murray, Gerard, partly sprinting out to the Canterbury back line to tell them to get onside. Peter Wynn, great tackle by Folkes, right round the boots. Webb runs from dummy half and makes a good little raid there. It's about a 12-metre gain. Last tackle. Now, what are the tactics? Parramatta shouldn't maybe kick in these conditions. Levy gets a high one up. It's coming back a little bit. They all fly for it. It's gone back towards Parramatta. Dowling out to Cronin. Cronin stepping. Got a pass away to Dowling. He's going to score. That's a great bit of football by Cronin. And Dowling's hit. I think that's number 14 for the year, is it, Barry Ross?
Yes.
And we'll see it again. That was put that one down to clever stuff by Mick Cronin. Now from the up and under, they let the ball bounce. It went backwards, as you'll see. Somebody jumped too early there. There was Dowling. Cronin straightened and then cleverly held the pass up and gave it to Dowling, and that's good stuff. So they're back in almost immediately. See it again. The kick from Levy. He couldn't have been terribly happy with that, the way it went. The breeze held it up, but the Canterbury players jumped too soon. And Robert Jay was the initial passer of the ball, but Cronin, that was the point that the try was made, but he evaded one tackle, held it up nicely. Two Canterbury players collided. I think we've got Webbs from the field, so they've got Hilditch back to hooker, I would think, and Platts has gone into the front row.
Yes, well, they could do that or use Jeff Gerard in the front row as they did last week, but of course he's not as effective as a front rower. So while his kick's being taken, Rex, Stan Cutler, he must have hurt his shoulder in that last try-scoring effort, and he's had his treatment on the shoulder with the Canterbury club doctor.
Cronin having his fourth attempted goal. He's been successful with 2 from the quarter. And he kicks it. And Parramatta back in front again. That's 9 points to 8, so that's a turnaround. So a man does need eyes in the back of his head. And if a Canterbury player did knock it out of Price's hands, that was the time to do it when the referee wasn't watching. Play on. That's 2 scrums in a row that Hilditch has won. So he's leading 2-1 in the second half scrums. Murray. 9-8. Parramatta lead. Gerard nicely out to Platts. The big man tries to stand on that tackle, but Casillas unseats him.
That's Greg Cook getting treatment in back pay.
Sterling makes a nice little break, caught by the jersey, but let go, lobs a long pass. It's gone out to Glover. Glover goes up the sideline. Can't get the ball down, can't get a pass back inside, into touch. Good break by Sterling, and I'd say that he's redeemed himself for that earlier tackling error that led to the Chris Mortimer try. Graham Atkins, the Parramatta left winger, was right over there on the right-hand side of the field. This scrum, critical. Penalty to Canterbury. Not packing square on against Parramatta. The under-23 match today, it had to go to extra time, extra 10 minutes each way. St George ultimately ran out winners, 11 points to 5. In the reserve grade, Canterbury 12, defeated Balmain 10. Very dramatic finish there too. A try and a goal in the last 4 minutes, altering that result. So the 2 grand finals in the lower grades next week are Canterbury and Parramatta, and Saints and Parramatta in the under-23s. Now, what will Canterbury do? Are they going to use this breeze? Steve Mortimer almost getting involved with folks there. Gave the pass to him and collided with him. There's the Mortimer kick. Torpedo punt. Looks good. It's not good. It's out. I misjudged the line there. I was looking at the wrong line. That was well out. Gary Hughes directing Cutler to go and stand on the other side of the field. Both the fullbacks up directly in 5-8 position virtually. Paponis wins that one again. Folks tackle with the ball. Casillas, good step and change of direction. Paponis runs from dummy half. He's picked off straight away. Good tackle. Levy the man. Steve Mortimer. There's Smith again on the boil. Who's that player on the ground there?
Maybe Ray Price.
Ray Price down being treated. The trainer taking a bit of time over him too. Steve Mortimer. Well, Graham Hughes picked that up beautifully off his boot tops and loaded it to Anderson, who's appeared in the middle of the field. Got a pass away as he was falling to Cook, and Cook's gone right up the middle and loaded it well. I think that's Peter Mortimer in possession now. He's over halfway, and that's the 6. Graham Hughes down to seek attention. Price is up and about. Well, he gets a cheer as he trots back to position. 9-8, Parramatta lead. A try and 3 goals to 2 tries and a goal. Another scrum win, 2 for Parnas. 3 scrums to 2 in the second half, but the overall count is 10-5 Canterbury's way. Folks, heavily tackled there. Price underneath him. Gets up and plays it forwards. That's good stuff. Makes another 10 metres. Price directing traffic there, telling his players where to go. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Back to Cook. And they actually pointed him and said, go that way. Some of his teammates. The remote control footballer. Good young player. Steve Mortimer elects to run. Look at him go! Look at him go! Look at him go! He's getting them! Blimey, he's like greased lightning. Steve Mortimer. So the Mortimers have scored 1, 2, 3. He said, I'm not going to be outdone. See it again. This is what you call when your big brother really gets miffed with these young fellas. Look, he says, I'll show them a try, and look what he did. Bless my soul, have you seen the pace of it from head on? There was no room there. I don't blame the Parramatta defence. How do you stop a will-o'-the-wisp? What about an iron bar inside your jumper arm, Barry Ross? What about that?
Well, that's the only thing you're going to do with this fellow with the speed off the mark. And, of course, that was another Glossop ploy. Steve Mortimer was told to just play steady football, keep the ball going out in the first half and open up in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
Well, I don't know what you do with this fella. Maybe Fernley could invest in a light cannon and shoot him in flight or something. I don't really know what you do. I've never... Steve Morris and Steve Mortimer, they are just like lightning over a 20, 30-metre sprint. I used to think Alex Murphy, the English halfback, was the quickest thing I've ever seen. He looked a little bit like a defender snail by comparison to these two.
Greg Cook's come off the field. He's going back on now. He had treatment with a shoulder, a knock he received 10 minutes ago, and Stan Cutler's still trouble with that shoulder problem.
11-9, very important kick to Gearin. He's only been successful with 1 from, I think, 3. He gets that one okay, so that moves it along. 13-9. And Canterbury. Anderson. Very involved. Look at this. Anderson's run right through. Kicks. It's a kick and chase situation. Price is going with him. I tell you what, that is an incredible sprint by the Australian lock forward, and why he's one of the wonder players of 1979. He footed it with an Australian wing 3/4 over 50 metres and didn't lose an inch. And, well, my director said he used a rather rude Australianism over my headsets. I'll say that he might be a little bit winded. But you've got to... Well, while he's down injured, could we see that again? Just watch Ray Price. This is why we eulogise this man. Number 8. Now, there's an Australian wing 3/4. Now, watch Price. He doesn't lose by comparison. And may have gained a half inch. And saved what could have been a certain try. Congratulations, Ray Price. When you get too old to play in the forwards, you can go out on the wing. Chris Mortimer with that kick. Now Canterbury will settle play down for a couple, surely, until they get a few of their players back on side. Gearin says, yes, we'll do that. Runs from dummy half. Steve Mortimer directing traffic. And Parramatta just looked a little bit shattered at the moment after that Mortimer try. 33,291 spectators here. Seen a terrific game of football. It's not over yet. Not over yet. Opponents at dummy half. Cook. Cook! Cook, look at him! 10 metres away. Trying to... And he's got the penalty. And that's quite right. Ray Price has been penalised for failing to get off the tackle player. Price may have been saying that he was being held down. Maybe we could see it again. It's a matter of whether it shows, of course. Frequently players will hold another player down on top of them to get the penalty. Now watch it. Now Cook did marvellously well to get as far as he did. Now at that point he was tackled. Forward progress stopped. Now there. Now Ray Price looks up, and I get the impression it was not being held down. I can't be categoric about it, but it's another 2-pointer and a very critical one. Because Parramatta will have to score twice if he kicks this. Number 5 coming up. He's had success with 2. A model of consistency. Over she goes on the score. Races on to 15-9. Well, still anybody's game. But Parramatta in the position with 21 minutes to go of having to score twice to get back into a lead situation. The blue and white flags and streamers and great paper whirl and evidence round this ground now. Who would have thought Canterbury can do this the year they lost so many players, and a horrifying injury run. Well, the player tackled without the ball there, but the referee says play on. And the referee is going to be assisted by the touch judge here. I think Ray Price was involved in that tackle. Now let's see it again, because I don't believe there was intent to hurt here. I think the kick-off was taken, the ball was in the air, and Price assumed that he sent Price off. Well, they've got a different view of it. Can we see the incident again? This is an absolute... That is the ball game as far as Parramatta are concerned. Let's see it again. Yes, he's got him high. No question about it. On a touch judge's report, Ray Price has been sent from the field. I'm not going to second guess what the charge will be. I would assume it would allege that he had tackled in a high or dangerous fashion to a player not in possession of the ball. Maybe the full charge. Barry Ross.
Yes, Chris Mortimer was the Canterbury player, and he seemed to, a lot of Canterbury players all went off for that kick-off, and Price came through. He looked to be going for the ball, but of course the referee saw otherwise. And
did our head-on shot show anything there, Mr. Berry, my director? That is a sensation. Let's have one more look at this. Now, the ball coming in the air is taken by a player in front, and Price did go high on the left-hand side. The player down, Chris Mortimer. Impression Hartley was not going to do anything. He may have well have been unsighted because there were so many plays between he and the ball catcher. But on a touch judge's report, Parramatta, one man short. The dynamo of their side has gone. Graham Hughes. George Paponis. Gary Hughes. Back inside, the pass comes. Canterbury starting to look pretty good now. The pass has gone astray. Picked up by Peter Wynn. And a massive effort now required from Parramatta's 12 men. Sterling. Play midway between Parramatta quarter line and the halfway. Platts runs from dummy half. Ricocheted out of the ball has ricocheted out of Gerard's hand, so heavy was the knock. Paponis has it. Steve Mortimer. Graham Hughes. Is that Folks on the... No, it's not, on the quarter line. Graham Hughes kicks ahead. He's not going to win the race with this. Glover will. And a little bit of testiness there, but the ball has gone over the dead ball line. Graham Hughes was the man chasing. The errors, a massive tally really for a day on which there's no sign of moisture, 13-12. Jury firmly doing it hard at the moment, I suspect. Cutler. Steve Mortimer really laying down the law to some of his outside backs there. Telling them to spread wider. Opponent switches the play to Graham Hughes. He's a marvellous handle, this fellow. He's picked up a couple of passes today and has hopped out of a tackle. Still looking for support, still going up to the quarter. Bulldog breed. Steve Mortimer holds the pass up. On the quarter line is Casillas, tackled. A little bit roughed up there, but Jay the tackler. There's young Smith, unloaded. Oh, Gary Hughes came on the burst a fraction too early, overran it, and the pass has gone astray. Parramatta in possession, but they are in a parlous state. There's a long floating pass out to Atkins. He'll make a little inroad. They get him towards the sideline, ricochets off one tackle, he's pushed off another two, and finally they sink him. Folks and Paponis. Long pass from Hilditch out to Cronin.
And here goes Mark Hughes.
The man who made the try that they scored, the one try. Mark Hughes now starting to get ready to come on the field, is he?
Yes, he's over the on the field of play now, warming up, jogging, talking to Teddy Glossop on the sideline. Wearing number 14.
Jay unloaded to Hilditch. Well pulled out of the air by Levy. That was no easy pass to take. I'll give you the drum.
And Greg Cook will be the player that will come off.
Greg Cook. Well, Graham Hughes will probably go up to the front row.
Graham Hughes to front row, yes.
Okay.
Mark the lock and...
pass gone astray. That could have been a penalty to Parramatta. A player was thrown down after the ball had gone away, but Gearin has come up with a run that takes play back to the Parramatta half. The score, 15-9, Canterbury's way. They've scored 3 tries, all by the Mortimers, the toast of the town, and 3 goals to Gearin. Steve, Chris and Peter Mortimer. There's young Cook from the field. Mark Hughes is on. What number's Hughes in?
14, and we have the 3 Hughes brothers and the 3 Mortimer brothers out there now, Rex.
Oh, joy. Mark Hughes in number 14. Well, the construction of the pack would be, I believe, Graham Hughes back in the front row, as we said, as Cutler's gapped them, looking for support. Can't get a pass away. Good head-on tackle by Gary Dowling. Last tackle. Cutler goes for the high bomb. Let's see whether Dowling likes this. Cronin's underneath it. The ball's loose. And the referee says it's a line drop out. All Canterbury at the moment, with 13 minutes to go, would require some sort of a minor miracle for Parramatta to get out of this. A man short. Recollecting that about the 20th minute, Ray Price, of the second half, Ray Price was sent off. Now, that's a silly bit of football again. They've got to talk to each other, these Canterbury players. That's the second time there's been a collision with the ball in the air. Gearin and Cutler on that occasion. Steve Mortimer, Mark Hughes. Hasn't played for a while, Barry Ross.
Yes, he's had a problem with some hamstring, with a hamstring for about 3 or 4 at least weeks.
Oh, well done, young Smith. Got the pass back to Mark Hughes. This kid's had a top game again. I think he's just about run out of steam. He's starting to look a little bit like me getting off the ground. Steve Mortimer unloaded nicely to Graham Hughes. A little jink of his, the step and the straighten. Anderson at dummy half. He'll run from there. Oh, high tackle. The referee says play on, indicating that it wasn't above the shoulders. Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes, and Gary Hughes has got himself in for a try. The man they said that wasn't quick enough. Yeah! Canterbury 18, Parramatta 9. See it again. The floodgates, by necessity, had to open. Tough game of football to play. A man short. Now again, Anderson from dummy half ran, and he scored tries from there last week to that player who was decked but not illegally. That was who was it? Chris Mortimer. And then Gary Hughes slipped himself in behind the defence and not real pleased about scoring, as you can see. referee judged this to nicety. If we carry this on, we'll see the little fistic salute of Gary Hughes. We've cut it out too soon, but now as we watch, he goes, yeah!
And why not?
18-9. All back scoring tries. 4 tries to 1. A clear, concise outline of the way the match has gone. Canterbury have played it with gay abandon, exactly the same as any other game of football. They will approach the grand final, one feels, in exactly the same vein. Sixth attempt, he's been successful with 3. 4. Guerin rubbing salt into the wounds, has another fine match, and the Canterbury side surge away into an unbeatable situation, 20 points to 9 with 10 minutes to go. Crowd absolutely buzzing, but there's quite a large section of it. One would think the Parramatta fans, some of them have conceded this game, but I assure you nothing where there's blue and white streamers or coloured paper in that colour is anyone leaving. They want to see it right out.
I've just been speaking to the Canterbury doctor, Rick, and it's good news with Greg Cook. He will be available next week. He's got a couple of loose teeth and a bump on the shoulder.
A small price, I would think, and Greg Cook would, I think, feel to pay for this magnificent win. And he played his part in it, heaven knows. That's a penalty to Parramatta, an incorrect feed. Second row, Steve Border nods in acquiescence. When we get halfbacks agreeing with referees when they're being penalised, you know that they're on the winning side. Graham Atkins, a run around, he's proven hard to tackle. Got a little bit of a love tap from Stan Cutler on that occasion, I thought. Platts tackled, not put down. Now he is. Parramatta on one of the rare, almost only occasion they've been down this end of the field. Apart from the time they scored the try. Crisscross move, Platts goes from dummy half. Looking good, looking very good. I don't know who scored it. Platts gave it to somebody, to Gerard, is it? Yes, he hasn't got up with the ball, but we'll assume it's Gerard. Now, the side-on shot doesn't show a lot, but Platts did very well to battle his way through there. At that point, he got it to Gerard, and Gerard surged, was able to get the ball down. Now, let's see it from head on. It'll be a little bit more descriptive, one feels. But Platts got him behind the defence there. He's a massive man, very powerful. They had him actually hanging over the line. He did well. Gerard, well positioned, goes for the big dive. Little doubt about that one. A good try. There's 5 points. 8 minutes to go. Miracles have happened. And the goal kick from Cronulla is successful. So we've got a scoreline that reads Canterbury 20, Parramatta 14. And 3 goals from 5 attempts for Mick Cronin. Now, be very careful. They've allowed Parramatta to get within a cent of being back into the game. But with 7 minutes to go, if Canterbury get beaten from here, they will deserve to be beaten and then taken into the dressing room by their coach and individually whacked with a very large strap. Parramatta showing a lot of heart to come back, playing a man short for the last, well, one would think about 14 minutes. Murray, Sterling.
Just some further comments on the Canterbury injuries, Rex. We're from the club doctor here. There's no concern over Stan Cutler. He'll be okay with that shoulder problem. It's a carryover from last week's game. And Peter Mortimer did have some strapping. It's just a little bruise on the knee at half-time.
All right, that's the latest casualty report from the Canterbury dressing room. The scrum going down. It's a Canterbury scrum win, is it? Steve Mortimer's got it. And Murray's got Mortimer. Mark Hughes using his strength there to bust the tackle. Only about 20 metres out. Canterbury would dearly love another try. Gary Hughes steps. I think he would have savoured that try. He's taking a little bit of time to get to his feet. Great time for a little bit of a breather for both sides, one would suggest. Let's run through the try scorers for the Canterbury side. They have been, in order, Chris Mortimer, Peter Mortimer, Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes. 4 tries. And Steve Guerin has kicked 4 goals from 6 attempts. The replay of that action, Gary Hughes underneath the tackle of 2 players there, with Ron Hilditch coming in over the top, probably the means of him getting injured, but here they are. Canterbury still about 20 or so metres out. Folks to his feet. Paponis, Casillas.
Father's Day came a bit late this year for Canterbury Rex. Peter Casillas there being tackled. His wife's due, having a baby on Monday, the baby's due, and Stan Cutler had his 3rd child yesterday.
Now Mortimer elects to run, and they were awake to that. It's an awe-inspiring thing to see this little fellow set himself to go when he's really going to give it the works, the quick acceleration. Parramatta come up with that scrum. The scrums have gone 11-5 in Canterbury's favour. The penalties have gone 8-6 in Canterbury's favour. Dowling, the scorer of one of the 2 Parramatta tries. We're into the last 5 minutes now, perhaps 4 minutes to go. Platts. Jay. They switch it back to Murray. Now to Gerard, looking for support. The pass has been knocked down. Hilditch goes back for it. Mark Hughes drives him back about 5 metres. That was not knocked down. There's no 6 to go. It was a bad pass. Atkins doing a lot of work coming back into the line. Now the second last tackle to go. Murray. Peter Wynn. McCronin. Not able to get the pass away. We're inside the last 5 minutes. 4 and a bit minutes to go. Parramatta come up with another scrum win. Dowling has it from the halfback. They must keep the ball alive, Parramatta. They move it, take the odds to it. It doesn't really matter whether they get beaten by 1 or 50 points as far as the grand final is concerned. They've got to keep this ball moving. Peter Wynn. Now the error situation. Parramatta 16, Canterbury 13. The number of times each side has given the ball back to the opposition. Gerard on the burst. Nicely to Dowling, who surged onto the end of that pass over the halfway line. That's Murray. Murray's found a gap, going well. Canterbury defence just looking a little bit ragged. And he's lost the ball. Steve Mortimer's come up with the ball from Murray in that tackle. Casillas. About 3 minutes to go. 20 points to 14. Canterbury lead Parramatta. Playing for that spot, the second spot in the grand final against St George at this ground next week. Graham Hughes runs from dummy half and makes a good inroad. Great time for a new sponsor, Electronic Sales and Rentals, to get involved with a new club the day they win a final. Guerin. Paponis. Graham Hughes. The pass is too hard. Jay has it for Parramatta. It ricocheted off a Canterbury player.
Rex, sitting here next to Ted Glossop, I'd like to ask Ted, way back in February when everyone wrote you off, did you ever envisage a grand final?
I'd be facetious if I said yes, but we had confidence in what we had, and we just didn't know it would go as well as this. And what a great bunch of young players out there today. What a great bunch.
One senses a little bit of emotion in the voice of Ted Glossop.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of emotion in his voice, and rightly so. He doesn't show much during a game. He just sits there smoking and smoking, but he rides every tackle and takes every pass with the rest of his young team.
Penalty to Parramatta against one of the Canterbury players for failing to release Gary Dowling. Mick Cronin takes the tap quickly. Parramatta to be admired. They're getting on with the job. They're not going to concede defeat. They still have some couple of minutes to go, and they're going to keep hammering away. Levy. This really is a major, major upset. At the time when Price was sent from the field, the score was... I'll just get that for you. Canterbury were leading 15-9 at that time. Hilditch straight ahead. Now clock coming round to seconds only to go. 20 points to 14. Canterbury certain to go into the grand final. Cronin. Back to Platts. Managed to get the pass away. Mark Hughes comes in quickly and bumps the Parramatta player to the ground, but there's the hooter in the background. Canterbury have done it, and more power to them. The side that everybody wrote off have come up, and I'm happy to say it's the first winner I've tipped in 3 weeks.